prophecy of two prophets die. Two prophets had to die before the promise was given. Abraham was given a promise for the promised land. And this is a prophetic foreshadow of the end times. In looking to Deuteronomy chapter 34, verse 4 and 5, we see the beginning of the land that was swore to Abraham. It says, "And the Lord said unto him, This is the land which I swear unto Abraham, unto Isaac, unto Jacob, saying, I will give it unto thy seed. I have caused thee to see it with thine eyes, but thou shalt not go over thither." So Moses, the servant of the Lord, died there in the land of Moab according to the word of the Lord. So we see what happened prior is that Aaron had died and Moses had died before the people were permitted to go into the land of Israel by Joshua, which is a prophetic foreshadow of Christ, which is Yeshua. And so Joshua took the tribes of Israel into the battle, going through the valley of Jericho, up into Jerusalem, and etc. And they took the land and the inheritance that was the promise of Abraham. And in the end times, Christ likewise will have two prophets dead before he takes the tribes of Israel back through the valley up into Jericho and takes Jerusalem, battling the kings of the earth and the beasts, and taking and subduing Jerusalem for the millennial kingdom to inherit the promise of Abraham. Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 49 and 50 talks about the two that had to die. "Get thee up unto this mountain Ibarim, unto Mount Nebo, which is in the land of Moab, that is over against Jericho, and behold the land of Canaan, which I give unto the children of Israel for a possession. And die in the mount whither thou goest up, and be gathered unto thy people, as Aaron thy brother died in Mount Hor, and was gathered unto his people." So we see that this is what occurs with two prophets dying before the people entered in by Joshua into the land of Israel. In Deuteronomy chapter 34, verse 8 and 9, it talks, and it says, "And the children of Israel wept for Moses in the plains of Moab 30 days, so the days of weeping and mourning for Moses were ended. And Joshua the son of Nun was full of the spirit of wisdom, for Moses had laid his hands upon him, and the children of Israel hearkened unto him, and did as the Lord commanded Moses." So we see this in the end times. And how do we see this in the end times? In the book of Revelation chapter 11, it talks about two prophets that will be killed before the day of the Lord, before the tribes of Israel are gathered and brought back in with armies under Christ, who Joshua was a foreshadow of. Joshua is the same name as Yeshua, and Yeshua will lead the children of Israel into the land of the promise of Abraham. Revelation chapter 11, verse 3 says, "And I will give power unto my two witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days clothed in sackcloth." And here is where you see the two prophets die. In the book of Revelation chapter 11, verse 8. "And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom in Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified." And in verse 10 it says, "And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them, and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwell on the earth." And it is after this that the resurrection occurs, and that Christ takes the armies into battle and taking the land back for the Abrahamic promise. Revelation chapter 19, verse 14 and verse 19. "And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army." And this is the prophetic fulfillment of the two prophets, Moses and Aaron, dying before the children of Israel were able to come take back the land of the promise of Abraham. In the end times, there will be two prophets who die before Christ Yeshua takes the tribes of Israel in to get the land of Israel, which is the promise of the seed of Abraham. And that will be the fulfillment of this in the end times with the prophecy of the two prophets dying. And this is the prophecy of the death of the two prophets.